What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the best route running and wide receiver clips from the NFL rookies at training camp this year. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like to get faster, check out that very first link in the description below where you can get access to 75 plus speed and agility drills, all organized into categories like running mechanics, plyometrics. We give you the exact sets and reps to follow, video examples of each drill, 40-yard dash technique, everything you need to become a better overall athlete. So check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested in that, fellas. Let's get started with this video. So this first route we're going to be looking at here is from Bijon Robinson. Now, I know he's a running back, but this is probably my favorite route so far from training camp, and it's just a textbook route. So let's play this full speed and then we'll break it down. So he comes out, he does this three-step slant type route, gets this DB to crash, and then is able to win over the top on the sluggo. And he actually ends up making this catch here. I know it's tough to see. It cuts off a little bit, but he does end up making this great one-handed catch. So anytime that I have to run a route, it's a double move, whether I'm running an out and up, whether I'm running a slant and go, whether it's a post corner, I have to make the first route look exactly like how I would run just a regular route, a regular slant versus inside leverage, like kind of off coverage. And I know that seems like pretty basic advice, but that's more so advice for like a press coverage situation, right? Like if the DB's off and let's say it's zone and you're running a sluggo, that's pretty easy. You just run it like a regular slant, right? But a lot of guys, they have questions about, well, what if I got to run a slant route? This DB's inside shade. I know how I would run a slant versus inside shade press, but how would I run a sluggo versus inside shade press? And it's got to be the exact same way. What makes a great route runner, what makes a great just overall athlete is making their movements, making their cuts all look a certain way. You have to make things look similar because that's how you're unpredictable with your routes. So we look at Bijon Robinson. If he was running a slant versus inside shade press, what I would suggest any wide receiver to do in this case is to attack the DB's outside shoulder and outside hip. The goal would be to get him to flip his hips to the fade, maybe start to backpedal, whatever it might be. But that is where I would attack because that's how I would attack it on a slant. So now, our goal after this point when we break to the slant is to try to get this DB to crash or this linebacker, this safety, whoever, as hard as he possibly can and overcommit so I could slip behind him. Now, on any double move, whether you're running, maybe a whip, whether you're running like a post corner, like we said, there are three things that are going to get you separation from this DB. The first one is going to be running hard. What DBs and linebackers, what they look for is that when you're running a double move, they look for a change in speed. A lot of guys are not confident being able to cut on a dime like this off of 1 foot. They're not confident in dropping their hips to be able to decelerate. They have to like slow down and prepare for it. And that change in speed lets this linebacker, lets this DB know that a break is coming. So I cannot change my speed, right? Now that's much easier said than done. A lot of guys struggle running hard and just cutting when it's a single move. It requires a lot of things. It requires some explosiveness. It requires ankle stability, knee stability, balance, overall stability in that single leg. And those are things that wide receivers, running backs, whoever should work on in the offseason to develop these types of cuts. So that's the first thing that's going to get that DB to crash. Second thing is going to be the stride. What a lot of guys look for is they look for wide receivers who don't cover any ground to anticipate a double move. Like you'll see it all the time. Like guys will run a post corner, and when they break to the post, they take the 3 choppiest steps of their life, and that DB's not going to bite on that. He's not threatened by that post. What does threaten this guy on a slant is you running hard and you not shortchanging yourself on strides. Let's cover some ground. And then last but not least, you obviously have to commit with your body language. Now, I think everybody knows, like, okay, on a double move, you want to snap your eyes to the quarterback, right? That's important, obviously. Now, I've seen wide receivers who have snapped their eyes to the quarterback, but still get locked up because their hips and their shoulders do not commit to this slant route. Guys, you have to give your eyes to the quarterback, but a DB or a linebacker, when it's man-to-man, he ain't supposed to be watching your eyes. So if your eyes are the only thing you rely on, a disciplined DB is not going to bite. You have to commit the hips and the shoulders. If you combine this with good stride and good speed, that DB has to bite down, fellas. Nothing about this says that you're running a sluggo, a double move, etc. So those three things, and running the route exactly like how you would run the single move route, if you get a different type of coverage, is how you can win on any double move. So let's watch the thing again. Great route from Bijon Robinson. Moves extremely well with his routes for a running back. Okay, so now this next example here is going to be from Zay Flowers. This is kind of a tough angle, but this is the best angle that we have of this route. But this is, again, insane route. Everybody knows Zay Flowers can run great routes. Everybody knows he's very explosive, but this is just another one of the million examples out there of him being able to get in and out of breaks fast. So this is another double move route. So this is a whip route, right? So let's play this thing full speed. So again, when you're running a double move, like we talked about, what are the things that are going to sell it? You obviously, when you break to the first move, you got to have some speed. So when we're trying to get this DB to crash on a whip route, we got to be running with some speed. He's not going to crash if we were running slow. He's going to sit. He's going to slow play it. He's going to be patient. Guys, DBs are taught to be patient. They're taught to look for these little things that I call indicators with my routes. Indicators are a change in pad level, a change in stride. And by pad level, I mean body language. It's a change in body language, a change in stride, and a change in speeds. You see, Zay Flowers doesn't have that. He breaks and he's running. Now, this is a little bit different of a break than what Bijon Robinson had to do on the sluggo. This is where he's going to have to drop his hips and get right back out 90, almost like an out route, right? So it's a little bit tougher of a break because you actually have to drop low. So when he drops into this break, I want you to pay attention to how low he gets. Guys, like that position right there, if you can drop to that, like I tell my wide receivers, you want to try to bring your chest to your quads and sit your butt down like you're playing musical chairs. The music stops, you try to sit down as fast as you can. If you can do that violently and aggressively get to that position, you're going to get that term like stop on a dime. You're going to be able to create energy. You're going to be able to decelerate on a dime. And that deceleration is what gets you separation, fellas. So we have to make sure that we get to that point. The only way that I could slow myself down when I'm selling the route, whether I'm selling fade and running a comeback, whether I'm selling slant and running a whip route, the only way I slow down when I am doing those three things we mentioned, speed, stride, and body language, is by being violent with my change of direction, whether it's a hard cut or whether it's a violent hip drop. Think of it like a string is attached to your chin and somebody's pulling that string straight down, bringing your chest to your quads. Now we're in a low position where I could stop, but I'm also in an explosive position to where that energy can be created to shoot me out of this thing and widen me from the DB. At the end of the day, fellas, it's not just about stopping. It's about stopping and being able to re-accelerate. And if I'm violent with the hip drop, if I get to that explosive body language position, I'm not leaning too far forward. The mistake a lot of receivers will make is they'll get into this break, but they'll never sit their butt down. Their waist will bend. They'll try to get their chest forward, but they'll be like bending and leaning forward. You're going to take a million steps. A lot of guys will get stuck at this break because they'll drop and their chest will be straight up in the air. They'll sit down, but their chest will be straight up in the air. Again, that's not a position to get you out. We want to sit down. We want to bring my chest to my quads. I want to be low. I want to get there violently to create energy because that energy will accelerate me out. And that's textbook. That's as good as it gets from Zay Flowers. There's a million examples of him running routes just like this, whether it's practice clips, whether it's game clips, and again, one of the most efficient rookie route runners. So now this next clip I want to look at here is from Jordan Addison, and this is going to be not a route. This is going to be a catch over the middle that requires an insane amount of concentration. Obviously, a great throw here from Kirk Cousins, but it's a tough catch in between two defenders, and this clip was kind of all over the internet the other day. Obviously, Jordan Addison has had his name in the news recently. So this is just a great throw, great catch. Now, what goes into making a catch like this? Like, is he thinking about anything in this moment? Is he thinking about looking the ball in, whatever? He's not. I 100% guarantee you he's not thinking about those like trigger phrases that we throw around as wide receivers to help you guys look in the ball, right? Because like you're playing catch with the quarterback, nobody's around, your t-shirt and shorts. Let's say it's the month of like February or March. You got a lot of time till the season starts, right? So what you're trying to do is build good habits. You're trying to get your catching in tune, you're trying to get your route running in tune, you're trying to get chemistry with your quarterback, all of those things. So when you get into a live setting like this, we don't have to think about it. I think a lot of people misread some of the stuff that we say with our videos on this channel, that they think that football is just this big like thought process. It's really not. At the end of the day, you got to play fast. You have to think though. You can't. It's not just go out there and just run around. There's calculations. You have to have a plan. There's a lot of things that go in place. But 99% of the time, it's about the reps that you put in the offseason that help you make these types of plays. Like we get a bunch of questions about how can I make a diving catch? How can I make an over the shoulder catch? And then we put out the videos. We give you the drills. We give you the phrases to think about. But in a game, it's on you that you've done the rep work. You've done the things necessary to to make it a habit. The goal is to make everything a habit. And if it's not a habit, I'm not going to be able to do it when I got to go full speed, right? It's got to be a habit. So Addison, you see, when that ball's thrown, no matter who's over the middle, who's on his hip, he's looking that thing all the way in. He's taking that photo of the ball with his eyes. That's something I tell my wide receivers. Pretend your eyes are a camera. The ball makes contact with your hands. You want like a split-second freeze frame where the only thing you're looking at is the football. And repping that out is how you make this type of catch. I can't sit here and just say, oh, you're going to go out there, and when that ball's thrown, you're going to focus on the ball and look it all the way in. It's what you do in practice. It's what you do when there's no defense on the field that turns into this type of habit. You want to make more plays like this, you need more reps. And that's the tough part about it, because reps take a while. But the good thing is, for a lot of you younger receivers, you have time to put in the reps for these types of throws. So I'm going to play this again, full speed one more time. Great catch by Addison over the middle, showcasing his great catching skills. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like to get faster and want 75+ speed and agility drills to do, all organized into categories for you, specifically laid out, we give you the exact sets and reps to do. Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you on that. I'll see you guys next time.